Yeah, I think it's like 60-40 favored. I think the lane for Storm versus Ember. Like you said, also the Nyx Assassin can prove to be an issue. Just getting that instant stun with like a Spike Carapace on the creep wave and then having someone follow up from there. But I think, I guess, for NGX.SEA, it's just the comfort we spoke about in the last series that Alacrity really likes the Ember Spirit. You're not giving him a good combo as well with the Keeper of the Light. Of course, refreshing that slide is a lot of damage early on.
Yeah, you don't even have to go for the third spell here. Flame Guard, maybe 2 points is gonna be enough. Maybe you skip it all together and just go for the full Sleight of Fist into chains. As you mentioned, the Keeper of the Light, the double Sleight of Fist chains is a big problem. It wouldn't surprise me if Neon go for something you can actually purge off the shield. Abaddon already banned out. We saw DLC in the previous match. Wouldn't be that bad because the Storm can suffer. Both the Storm and the Void Spirit, the other Spirit brothers that can play in the mid lane, hate playing against the Ember because they're easily caught in a Sleight of Fist chain scenario.
I don't believe we've seen Neon run the Storm Spirit in the offlane though. So far, it's just been Motivate and NGX.SEA. So we'll see if they also look to show the flex, but either side's trying to ban out some offlane heroes. I mean, 5 out of the 6 heroes in that second phase are all offlane bans.
Yeah, you can put the CK into the safe lane, but he has been played in the offlane quite a lot for now. And of course, the Shadow Shaman comes out as a ban. It would be a great hero for both the sides. Both of them are lacking tower push, and both of them are lacking the instant lockdown for a spirit mid hero. And there's the Grimstroke that you talked about. It's just an amazing combo of supports. The Nyx Assassin and the Grimstroke. The Nyx provides so much lockdown, and the Grimstroke provides so much damage. So they kind of go so well together. I'm liking what I'm seeing from Neon overall.
What's your read of Enchantress as a hero after the changes to her enchant not being able to dominate, I think, the big creeps early on?
It shouldn't be that much of a problem overall. Sometimes you do want to get the small creep camp. The hero is annoying either way, and the strength of the hero comes from being super annoying, invading the enemy jungle, giving so much vision and forcing the enemies to kill you, kind of like what the Weaver did before the nerf and what the Weaver would do now, but just a bit harder for him. So it is, of course, gonna change it up that she's not gonna be picked up as much, but I think the thing that you want to accomplish with the hero, it's still there. The thing is, you're just not gonna first pick and be like, even if it doesn't accomplish that, it's still gonna be incredibly powerful. But I think the hero in itself, it could change absolutely nothing if the creeps are right and when they're spawning in the early game.
So the only reason I really bring it up is because, of course, it's a pretty good matchup versus the Grimstroke, being able to purge the Inkswell. Nyx Assassin doesn't deal with the creeps at all. It's a strong laner, a strong laning support, and NGX.SEA have always liked giving a really strong laning support when Polison was on the team to enable In Your Dream, because often they like giving him this win condition. So I know Storm can be a bit of an awkward matchup, but of course having this magic burst is a great way to deal with the Enchantress, and then if you go down that route, you've got a Coddle Enchantress. That could be a bit awkward with having 2 supports, not having a stun. So it was really the only reason why I was just bringing up the question on what your thought process is on this hero. Because, of course, there are a lot of changes, and it's just going to be interesting to see what teams put priority on what heroes and what they don't.
Yes, sometimes there are players in Dota in the competitive scene that sometimes when they see a slight nerf, they're like, okay, this hero is dead, without even trying it out. So we can't really know what the thought process of the players is right now. We don't know them personally, and I'm not sure. I do hope that most of the players in Southeast Asia region are always like, nah, it's not a problem, I'm still gonna crush them, and that's why they pick Death Prophet, which is a hero that got nerfed, but they still go for it, and it should still be quite powerful.
5 seconds remaining.
Yeah, I was really not expecting to see Death Prophet. I thought this was a hero that just wasn't going to get picked up, especially with the changes. I mean, what Exorcism is back to the normal damage that it should have been doing prior. You reduced, I think, the Spirit Siphon, which was a big factor on this hero's laning stage.
I mean, I saw it yesterday here, though. I saw some people say, I didn't try it out in a pub, but saying that that they didn't code it right and that the damage on the tower was still there. I kind of believe that it got fixed up, just like the Underlord buff bug that just killed everyone, and the hero had like 85 to 90% win rate in pubs. But
Radiant
the
team ban.
the Death Prophet, I still think she's quite solid. And of course, as I said, when the patch comes out, you shouldn't just immediately discard all of the heroes because you're kind of used to playing with them. The changes might get you killed once or twice, but in the grand scheme of things, the hero is still gonna be fearing
10
people with the
seconds
Spirit Siphon,
remaining.
still gonna be relatively hard to kill, pushing down the tower. So the idea of the hero is the same. If you don't have a better one to use, it's still gonna be a good one.
All right, well, we get a Terrorblade though from Neon, so still a very strong carry, bit situational, but it looks pretty decent, honestly. They are lacking some burst to be able to kill him off, and it gives them a nice win condition, which often Neon like to have Astra on a similar hero.
Yeah, the early Terrorblade pick, I have to say, you can respond with a carry that can do well against it. Something like a PL here comes to
10
mind, considering that
seconds
Nigma
remaining.
Galaxy have an Ember, they have a Coddle. They're actually quite good at clearing out the
5
illusion. So
seconds
then the PL
remaining.
actually wins the fight against the Terrorblade quite
Radiant
quite
team
heavily.
ban.
Though it is not a hero that is too popular right now. Of course, the Drow gets banned out. You don't want a hero that ignores your armor. That is obvious, at some point in the later stages of the game, she just one-shots the Terrorblade, takes like 60% of the HP with one hit, and that is not something that you're used to.
10
But
seconds remaining.
Nigma Galaxy, they can definitely think about this long and hard. They have the Keeper of the Light.
5
I even
seconds
saw something
remaining.
I don't like, but I even saw the Bristleback with the Coddle actually do well against the Terrorblade, which naturally, because of the high armor, shouldn't happen, but you hit a good timing and you can actually go in.
Dire team ban.
This tied an Underlord, which is kind of interesting. I think they have maybe teamfight is something that Neon are lacking, so that's definitely where the Ravage can come into play, but they definitely have a lot of AoE clear, which both Tide and Underlord are able to deal with, so I don't know if they're posturing for
10
a
seconds
flex on
remaining.
this Ember and to put it as a carry on in
5
your dream,
seconds remaining.
and then to go for Alacrity's Meepo. It's something that they have been playing recently. The only reason I bring it up because it was banned in both games in the last series, and I'm almost certain, yeah, they played it versus Execration as well in their and they won that match. So that's the only reason why I bring it up, because it looks like a pretty good Meepo game, or they could just be protecting an illusion here, and there you go, Meepo is banned out.
Yeah, would have been an amazing Meeple game.
Dire
Yesterday,
team
Enigma
pick.
Galaxy, they picked it up and it looked amazing. And there's the PL. I guess the safe choice. You also have the Keeper of the Light. Of course, now you don't max out the Spirit Lance. I don't know if you remember, like 5, 6, 7. I don't know how many years ago the Keeper of the Light and the PL would have been a great lane. I'm kind of hoping that the Keeper of Light is a position 4. He lanes with the DK here because
10
Airblade
seconds
with his
remaining.
very low HP, he gets stunned up and illuminate. He'll be in a ton of
5
hurt. I can't
seconds
say
remaining.
I'm the biggest fan of the Terrorblade right now, especially Ember is on the other side. There is no Sand King, there is no Underlord, there is no Tide. There's not much left that's gonna deal with the PL properly. I guess you could go for something like a Necrophos. That would be a good one. There is
Yeah.
a solid amount of burst inside of Neon.
It's a pretty good Necro game against the Ember versus the Dragonite. It was
You may
okay with
now
the
select
illusions.
your
You can get to a
heroes.
stage where you're pretty unkillable, but Neon, they're going to go down the route of the Pangolier, so can always go Maelstrom if Enryu feels like that's the case. It is an offlane Pango, so often we kind of see this hero, though, be the initiator, the Blink, Shard, Dual Scepter, whatever Enryu feels like is the case.
Yeah, I actually forgot about it, Spangle, but I have to ask you something now. When I see the sets, who has better curls, me or the Death Prophet? When I look at the hair that she has, I kind of feel like I got her on this one.
I think
right?
you got to. Unfortunately, we're the only one that we can see the Death Prophet at the moment, so we'll have to do
Oh,
a comparison when we get in somehow. But we'll do a zoom in on Death Prophet's hair when we get in. But yeah, no, I reckon you got it. I reckon the luscious locks are there. I used to have long hair for quite some time. It was how long have I not had it for now? I think it's been almost 4 years, but I had hair down to past my shoulders at some stage.
you used to be a cool guy.
What the dude? What?
Okay, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Either way, I actually, I can't believe I forgot about the Enryu Pango. He actually is a beast on this hero. Usually I would see actually Neon first pick it for this guy because he definitely knows what he's doing, and it's one of the best heroes against the PL. As you mentioned, you can go for a Maelstrom. Even the Diffusal Blade wouldn't be that bad, which has been the mostly the go-to item if it comes down to those damage dealing items from
Prepare
him.
for
So
battle.
that's actually a solid way to deal with the PL. But again, you don't have anything to remove the Sleight of Fist chains, and I think that Nigma Galaxy, they have just a straight up idea: go on the Pango. If you finish off the Pango without the Rolling Thunder, there is no fight for the side of Neon.
So I feel like Neon's lineup is really unlocked with the Rolling Thunder. And if they're unable to utilize that in team fights, then they might just crumble.
Yeah, that's for sure. But of course, you always have ways to utilize a hero. You know, you have the Nyx Assassin to scout out to start off the fight. You have the Storm Spirit to jump in and kind of see where the enemies are. But I'm thinking when Nigma Galaxy have better vision, they're winning, and they see the
30
Pango, they're
seconds
winning
to
a fight 100%. On the other hand, if Neon have vision, they can get a pick off, and the rest can even run away. But let's look at this fight right now. Jing actually being slapped quite a bit.
Trying to push him away from being sneaky, getting the bounties, but nothing crazy. Jing's got Tangos, or he might just make a trip all the way back to base. Or he can also step in for the skirmish that we have. Both sides
The
posturing
battle
to
begins.
try and snag the bounty in the river. It looks like it's going to be Avatar mode to get that one. So in the end, it is a 2-for-2, I believe. Actually, it should be a 3-for-1 as NGX.SEA. Mizu was able to find the one up top thanks to the Dragon Tail. And this is something you said, you mentioned that you wanted to see the Coddle paired with the Dragon Knight. It's a really strong lane. I think this Dragon Tail is something that we saw back a while ago. I think it was the Any Major when people were picking the DK. You're putting him off lane, putting him in position 2. There was a lot of priority on this hero. And people were recognizing like this Dragon Tail is a really, really strong ability. Like this stun early on, 2.25 seconds at level 1, that's way too long. You can do so much with it. It's only 70 mana. You can secure range creeps. You can set up for a nuke, and that's perfect. It's a beautiful lane combo with a Coddle.
So do I.
Yeah, and I want Chuan here to just be following Joe Cam. You cannot allow yourself to be next to the Terrorblade. Double Illuminate is bad enough, but the Terrorblade needs to know every single time when the Illuminate is coming. You have such low HP. We already talked about it, and you're gonna be in a world of hurt every single time that it goes through you.
This Chuan's gonna
Radiant's courier has
pick up a
been
courier
killed.
for good measures.
Radiant's courier
But I
has
like
been
what you
killed.
mentioned, though, because it would be devastating if you are unable to give that information for the Terrorblade to be able to sidestep the blast. Like, this is where Chuan comes into play, gets the read. Unfortunately, Asta still had obligations that he had to kill off some creeps.
Yeah, manly posturing. You know, you can't scare me though. At some point, it's gonna work out against him. Either way, it should be a fun lane here in the top lane with a lot of damage. I don't know if the kills are gonna be happening, but Asta is definitely not gonna.
Bottom
have a good
lane,
time.
that's where the kills are happening. In your dream, one more swipe of the lance is able to find our first blood, and already showing that the Death Prophet is still a pretty decent laner.
Yep. Yeah. Maybe the enemies are just respecting the hero a bit too much, you know? Maybe you're like, okay, that's we can't kill her. The Spirit Siphon is gonna heal her way too much, and you're not going in maybe when you should. Though I still think that the Death Prophet now, when people have gotten used to playing it, it's not easy to play against by any means. Especially when you have a PL, he can be very aggressive. But this,
Yeah, they're going on it now. They got the level 2 timing. and Rui's still playing with the Swashbuckle. Is going to go past Boom Buoy, but an instant Fairy Fire to turn it back around. And Ryu, he's got no mobility to utilize. In fact, it's top lane where the kills are occurring as Asta goes down. He does get the kill afterwards onto Yokam, but of course the trade is favoring NGX.SEA.
and luckily here for NU that he survived, he didn't have a TP. So now if he dies, it's gonna be a bit easier. Of course, you don't want that to happen, but still, as you mentioned, the kill on the top lane, Terrorblade, just not being able to to deal with the damage from the Coddle, and he should be happy that at least the Coddle went to refill the bottle there. So he's gonna have at least 30 seconds of me time on the top lane.
Yeah, but he was allowed to leave that lane because look at the creeps. It's on Mizu's half of the lane, so he wasn't forced to stay here. It's not like this is a scary lane as well. Meta's on cooldown. It's a Nyx Assassin support, and also it's a DK3 like this here is very difficult to kill. So it really just frees up what Yokam can do early.
Yeah, the only time where he can kill the DK is level 1 and 2. As soon as he gets 2 points in his Dragon's Blood, the hero becomes almost unkillable for most of the laning matchups, and Terrorblade and the Nyx Assassin, that doesn't really scream damage, does it? You have lockdown, you have some damage output, but when it comes to killing the DK, it's gonna be next to impossible, especially with the bracers coming out. So I'm already this top lane isn't gonna be that great. And oh, mid lane?
Yeah, Avatar mode. Stepping away, they get the stun connection. Alacrity's Slight is back up thanks to the Chakra. And Avatar mode is almost killed off, but not enough damage from NGX.SEA early. Honestly, if they had one more level in Slight, that's probably a kill.
Yep, that was super close. And probably would have ended badly for the Storm.
It's bottom lane.
The Ember
In your dream, he might go down. Inkswell. Nice use of the doppelganger at the last second, but it will not matter as Jing gets extra damage thanks to the illusion spawning, so the stroke of fate is enough to cut off the head of the Phantom Lancer.
Yep. Beautifully done by them, and I was kind of expecting this bottom lane to go a bit better for Neon. Yes, he does have 22 CS, but he did die once on the Pango. That is something that I wasn't expecting for sure. And you, as I said, the specialist on this hero, especially when he plays with a Grimstroke as a position 4. But look at Bombui. This is just insane how much space he's creating.
He might have bitten off a bit more than he can chew. He's going to go down to the combo, and Enryu's able to reset. In your dream, actually, wants to continue the chase, but Doppelganger is not the best ability to hunt through the trees, so another kill for Neon. But yeah, like you're saying, though, that the net worth in your dream has got about a 700 net worth advantage over the Pangolier, so I, too, was also expecting this to be a bit better of a lane.
Yeah, and PL is one of those heroes that if he gets a very early Diffusal Blade, he can actually join the fights. If the Storm, let's say, is out of commission, doesn't have the mana or anything, they won't have enough damage to finish him off, and he can actually go in. And look at the top lane now. Terrorblade uses the meta. He gets the Breathe Fire into his face, and he is tickling the DK, literally not doing any damage. So Mizu can stay alone here for as long as he likes until the Storm comes with the rotation. He will not die.
Yeah, and I think the big thing about Pango not having a good lane is that it's now difficult in regards to what item he wants to go for. Like, you would have... It'd be ideal against a Phantom Lancer to have a good... Oh, mid lane, actually. Zipping. Avatar mode has the level 6. Combined with Jing, it's just not enough control. Alacrity was able to deal with the Phantom's Embrace. So they're going to be okay. Top lane, they are trying to bring down Asta. Mizu's going to have the Dragon Tail up in a couple of seconds here. If they can continue the hunt, then maybe Asta's going to be killed off in the tree line, but he's able to path his way through out of harm's way.
I think you're afraid of the dive. The way that your DK dies is if you dive too much. The Storm is level 6, almost level 7, 3 points in static run, and he can actually kill you. So if you are deep enough, you can die, and you need to be super careful. And of course, with your DK form coming out, you don't want that to happen. Enigma Galaxy, they're pushing this one out, but we can see the Storm rotation. So Neon, they want to defend.
What they do, the wraparound from Chuan and Avatar mode TPing top. They're going to try and target down Yokam first. And the DK can't really do much to prevent this, so then maybe they don't have the damage. They give the mangoes a little bit too late, so Avatar mode won't be able to continue the chase. And meanwhile to the tower though, Mizu trying to kill off Jing. Is he going to tick out to the corrosive? A couple more right clicks, and well, in fact, is not required, as indeed he does tick out to the poison over time.
And the siege creep is still alive. So this tower is gone. It's a 3k gold lead. You know, when you would look at the kills, you'd be like, we're doing fine. But look at Enigma Galaxy on every single lane. They're winning. Even their supports having massive amounts of farm. And this Keeper of the Light, he is... he's kind of competing with Asta, who is not even close to any of the cores of on the other side. This is not looking the greatest, considering that Neon, well, Storm is their main damage dealer. And now when he's missing off the map, you know that you might
Dire's
die, but
middle
even
tower
with
is
him,
under
I'm
attack.
not sure that they can bring out bring down an important hero.
Yeah, and they're not even in a position to be able to trade mid for bottom, which is really scary now, because what do you do for Neon? They don't have a lineup where you can take objectives, so the map is going to continue to close out, so all of a sudden, you're going to have 5 heroes that'll be wanting to farm, but you're all sharing golden experience, so you're going to have to come back off the kills, and well, that's what we're seeing come into play is Enryu. Rolling Thunder usage to get rid of Boom Booey's life. Now they're going to try and turn to the Ember. It's a little bit early with the slight, so it's not going to be able to cost them their life so far as Alacrity. Remnant last second doesn't get it off as Chuan the control required to get the kill, and well, that's big now for Neon, giving a double over to Avatar mode.
Dire's bottom tower is under
Yeah,
attack.
Neon did the only thing that they could, fight around the mid lane with the Rolling Thunder. A mistake there from the Ember Spirit for sure. If he was just spamming his spells, he definitely could have gotten out with
They're
the...
going to go back in. Avatar mode. Zip into the Inkswell combination, but the Dragon Knight not an easy target to kill off. Do they want to force this, though, from the side of NGX.SEA?
Dire's middle
Would you have
Ember is back.
Alacrity back alive? He doesn't want to Remnant deep under the tower. No point in chains as well, so they won't really have this catch potential. It's just going to be reliant on Alacrity to close the distance and utilizing the slight spam, and there we go. Now level 8 will put a point into the chain, so this will make it that much easier now to close the distance if they do catch anyone out. Which, well, we might see it now. Asta. There we go. Refresh the abilities on Alacrity, but Asta's going to be okay.
Okay, this is now becoming a problem. The PL is getting a Diffusal Blade, and Enigma Galaxy are way too powerful. So that means that the other 4 will be chasing the enemies like madmen. And if there's one hero against the PL, he will die. Because the Diffusal Blade, you burn his mana, and you actually do quite a lot of physical damage. So I think that
They're
Neon,
going
they
to
have
jump.
to fight.
Avatar mode is onto the Kodo once again. They're pairing the Storm with the Grimstroke. I like this a lot from Neon. Like, it's just fight, fight, fight. That's the way back in. Use the Storm, use the Grimstroke combo, and just hope that Radiant keep posturing too aggressively and they feed over a couple of kills.
That Storm needs to be super active. Usually you would like to be a bit more farm oriented with the Storm, but Enigma Galaxy, I think they're overextending again, just like in the previous game. You can wait for that DK blink and then you just jump the Storm, you kill him, and the fight is over. There's not enough damage, or you jump in on the Pango when he has the Rolling Thunder, you kill him, and there's not enough control. So those are the 2 options for them, but because they don't have that blink on Mizu just yet, there is this opening for Neon to get a little bit back in it.
It's going to be another kill onto Boom Booey down bottom. In Your Dream has the Diffusal, so he's going to look to show up to his first fight. And Neon, they recognize this and try to evacuate as best as possible, but Chuan won't have that capability, and Jing will not either, so really nicely done. They keep Boom Booey alive, Mizu comes down, Elder Dragon form, so this should be the last tier 1 tower claimed.
With the PL having such a great time in the laning phase, you could never just constantly push in. So Enryu, his tower was already taking a solid chunk of damage, and now it's gonna fall. There's the map open, and you are the team with the Nyx Assassin. The Nyx Assassin needs at least 1 tier 1 to fall, or with just 1 or 2 sentries, you can cover the entirety of the map. We already talked about it in the previous series. So Chuan isn't having a good time right now, and hunting with the Vendetta, at least for the big cores, is gonna be very, very tough in this one.
Again, though, it's just on the back of Avatar mode and Jing. You got to get these kills with this combo. He's got triple null, Fairy Trinket as well. They're going to look to jump. Alacrity. This time he's going to be on the mark with that Remnant out to safety. The Phantom's Race have always proved to be an issue. Maybe he's baiting now. The rest of the team's starting to flock to the area. Avatar mode has enough mana to be able to zip back away, but you've now expended all his mana, so he's going to have to make a trip all the way back to base, which there is just keeping NGX.SEA on the map.
It gives you 30 seconds or even more to do whatever you want. And now with the Blink Dagger on the DK that is being done, NGX.SEA, they can actually go and finish off the kills. And look at poor Asta. TP out. Ooh, okay.
Jesus Christ, that was too close. They go tier 2?
Yeah, he was taking so much damage when he had the mana. When he lost the mana, it was actually fine, and neither the Ember nor the DK were there. He has a Remnant back on the Ember. I presume he has a DD, so even if Neon find a kill here, there's gonna be a big turnaround.
Dire's top tower is under
Neon, they
attack.
smoked onto the ward, so They have the information. They've got the confirmation now of them being top as well as Mizu. Though he's going to get blown up for the magic damage. In a choke point where Enryu can bounce back multiple times. They've run into In Your Dream, but maybe the Phantom Lance is looking to turn this around with the Diffuser Blade. They're onto Avatar mode. As it back to the safety of the tower, but Chuan won't have this capability. Now they're hunting for more as Alacrity chains onto 2, and now they can just overwhelm them on their side of the map. As Jing will not have the capability to reset his position. As NGX.SEA, yes, you lose Mizu, but you're going to take multiple heroes into the grave with him.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
To be honest, I expected that to be worse for Neon. The situation that they're in and the kill that they found, it's perfect. They killed the Dragon Knight. That's the main guy that is gonna make the Storm die. Once the Storm dies, then the dives can be so deep from the side of Nigma Galaxy, and there's no one to finish them off.
No, Chuan. Oh, long zip. They get the stun. Boom Booey though. Taking the brunt of the force. Not easy to kill off the Death Prophet. Now In Your Dream showing up.
No mana on Storm.
Avatar mode's out, and men, I think of the chains once again for the refresh. The TPs are starting to flock to the neighborhood, but they might not be able to turn this around without the Rolling Thunder and Enryu. The main... Oh no, Mizu! Jumps to the backline. The deep observer ward paying off massive for NGX.SEA, and they know they're stuck. They know they are stuck. They TP'd to the lane, so they're going to chase him into the tree line.
Neon might die.
This Phantom Lancer needs to deal with the Phantom's Embrace. Hasn't done so to the last second, and that will cost him his life, as at least Enryu gets a big kill. Asta's gonna look to... What? Oh no! Asta TP'd him, popped the meta, but the burst was too much for him. He was not anticipating that.
You come into the fight, you're like, raw, and then you just die. It's too funny. Alacrity was like, I can go in on him, I can go in on him, and then just the Illuminate and the Breathe Fire, and he's dead. The Terrorblade has no HP items whatsoever. He just has a Yasha, not even close to that Manta style just yet. This is just looking so sad for Neon at this point. When there's no Storm, I don't think you fight. You just let everything go. And Avatar mode, even he is struggling at this point because he's only level 10. And before you get that level 12, the speed at which you zip is just not good enough.
You see they're still trying to force these fights, but reading with their sentry coverage is really on point this game. Like, Chuan is just... but this is also something you mentioned earlier, because the T1 tower is still standing bottom. It makes it very difficult for Neon to move across the map and have extra space to be able to find these kills that really they are requiring to have any way back into this game.
Oh, Storm caught?
Like, half his health pool's just gone. Like, it's so dumb, this combo.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
That's so sad. And as you mentioned, look at this. It's not like Nigma Galaxy have too many sentries. They have 1, 2, 3 around the map. They had 4. Okay, they have 4. And with 4 sentries, they're just covering like 60, 70% of the map and just constantly increasing their lead. When it comes to the ultra late game, you could argue that the TB can be strong, but PL is one of the biggest counters to the TB. Ever since they changed that the Sunder actually costs mana, the Terrorblade has been countered by the PL. It used to be a TB favorite matchup, but then you add the Doppelganger, you remove the reflection, and it's just too hard. And look at this now. They just walk into the road. There is no way that Neon fight this. If they come in to fight this right now, they lose the game, though. I have to say, their ability to come back into this one is through fighting constantly and hoping that the TB will find a good approach to the fight, not like last time just come in and die. He needs to find an approach where he comes in and he cleans up, and it's so hard to do right now. So all eyes onto the Avatar mode Storm Spirit.
Yeah, well, maybe that can be the BKB that he probably is considering after the Manta here for Asta, just to allow him to step into those fights. Because, like you're saying, it's a big issue right now for Asta. He got bursted down last time. He's 1, 2, and 0. Hasn't got the greatest amount of stats because he didn't go this Dragonlance build. So, all eyes on Terrorblade on what the next item is going to be.
I think you have to get a BKB. You need to match your timing with the Storm Spirit. Once the Storm gets the BKB, you need to win multiple fights at that point. And that is pretty much when the Aegis does expire before the next Roche. That is the timing where you're getting the lead back. If he doesn't go for the BKB, if he is not there for his team, Storm gets the BKB, but he doesn't kill anyone, you get those BKBs lower, the game will end.
And Ryu? Wants to charge up the Rolling Thunders. Chuan's trying to step in. The scout, see if they can catch anyone. Alacrity even uses BKB, but it might look to dive under the tower. They get the chains at the last second, so he's going to converge on the location. As there we go. Make a kill streak now for Alacrity. I guess a big issue for Radiant is their objective taken. Like if Exo's on cooldown, if Elder Dragon Form's on cooldown, like PL can't really hit towers. Definitely one of the worst carries to be able to do so, but I guess it's like you got two ultimates, I suppose. Always one of them should be available to take a tower.
And when you have December Spirit Coddle, you can actually constantly fight, even if you're not taking down the tower. If the enemies come close, Sleight of Fist chains, another Sleight of Fist chains, and the hero dies. So it's not really easy for Neon to stay close. Look at this poor Nyx.
He just can't do anything. He can't do anything. His Mizu's posturing so aggressively on the Dragon Knight.
It's fighting time.
They're still going to try and turn this one back around. Leashing them together. It's a beautiful impale from Chuan. As Radiant are grouping up, but the damage is lacking as Mizu healed from the blast. Die back on Chuan. Sunder at the last second, but Asta's going to be melted to a crisp. And Neon, they might call it quits. This is really difficult to come back in if you lose your high ground, but one last attempt as Enryu jumps inside with the Inkswell combination, but where's the damage? Where's the follow-up without the Storm? They don't have enough to get any kills as Yokam won't even be killed off, and in the end, it's a full 5-man wipe.
I get not wanting to quit, but I think that you should know that this game is out of your reach right now. As I said, the way that you would possibly come back, even though it was already hard to begin with, was Asta finds a good way to join the fight. Twice he comes into the fight, twice he dies without accomplishing anything, and even the items on the supports are just amazing. That Glimmer Cape, it means that no one is gonna die. They only have magical damage right now. The GG is called, and this game is over.
Alright, NGX.SEA off to a flying start today. A really, really good start to this second series as well. They're able to take it pre-20 minutes. This is the fastest game I've seen so far as well through the Pro Series. So, again, if they can continue on with this momentum, it's a new roster and taking some really important maps on some difficult teams. So, NGX.SEA, it's a really good showing for them so far. But what do you feel like the main reason was for, like, what went wrong for Neon through the early game that they can maybe look at and try and work on for game 2?
There's a few things. So first is the way that you're drafting. The heroes aren't bad, just the way that you pick them, the order is problematic. You're picking a Pango, that's the first pick hero, you're saving him for the last pick. You're getting a Nyx Assassin, which most likely won't get banned out, and you're not pairing up a very high damage dealing position 1 with the Nyx Assassin, so his stuns really aren't going to be doing that much. So you still need to think about the way that you're going to be drafting, and then if you have more damage and more chances to actually punish the enemies in the early laning stage and not just the Storm Spirit and rely on his rotations, it's gonna be a lot easier for you to play. So I think that's the way that they should pinpoint the problem, and then let's see if they actually have what it takes if they fix that.
Okay, well, all eyes on the draft for game 2. Of course, this has always been something, a bit of a critique for Neon, even though they've had XTI winner in Chuan as their coach. It's always been a bit of a concern for them in Division 1. And now in other tournaments and them stepping into Division 2. So there's, of course, plenty of time for them to be able to work on things, but we'll see how they can set themselves up for victory in our second game, which will be about a 10-minute break until then.